It's Tiffany.
And Faith.
We're back for another episode.
What are we talking about this time?
Okay. We're just going to do some common questions that might be commonly asked when someone comes out as transgender. Maybe questions that were asked of me or just more general questions.
Okay, sweet. So I'm going to ask Tiffany the questions and she will answer them. So we'll start off with an easy one. Do you still like basketball?
So yes, of course. Yes, I still like basketball. So I don't know if, when I first came out, I think there was questions about like, how much are you changing? Or like, what was it that you didn't like? What was it that you did like? Oh my gosh, look at my hair. Some people would be thinking maybe, what is it that you're changing about yourself or that you're not happy with about yourself? And so, no. So something like basketball, the things that I did, those are things that I still love to do. And the people that I love, I still love, So I think when you first come out, there's a lot of questions about what's changing, what's going on, what does this all mean? Because there's really not a lot of education out there. Gender's not taught in schools at all. So yeah, it's like, okay, what does this mean? What's going to happen? So yeah, of course, I still like basketball and I like all the things that I've always liked, but it's just my gender that's changing.
Perfect. How did you decide on your new name?
So growing up, I had 2 dogs named Tiffany. Hang in there. Hold your horses. So I didn't name myself Tiffany after my dogs, but kind of. So we had 2 poodles. One, actually the first one, got run over by a car. And then we got a second one. And so we had 2 different poodles named Tiffany. So that was more of a familiar name. I had started playing around with names, probably a year or 2 before I came out and started like using Tiffany for like Rocket League, playing different games or just different, and I tried out a few different names. And so really Tiffany I kept coming back to Tiffany. It sounded really nice. When I came out and it was like, what's your new name going to be? I'd been using Tiffany for the most part, and it sounded very comfortable. And it also just sounds very pretty, Tiffany jewelry and stuff like that. It just sounds luxurious. And
Not a super common name.
it's not a super common name. It's, and it just sounds nice. It flows nice, I think. Mm-hmm. But the last thing is when I knew I definitely wanted Tiffany when I was like, when I said it out loud, when I told you I was thinking my name would be Tiffany, and then you said it back, and it just sounded right. It sounded very right. It was very sweet.
Her middle name is Marie.
We had talked about different names, didn't we, actually?
For your middle name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure I came up with Marie.
My mom was like very forceful. She's like, no, you choose your first name. I get to choose your middle name. I'm like, Mom, no, you don't get to do that. You did it once. You made a mistake. Just kidding.
Next question. Did you play with Barbies or dolls as a kid? And did that turn you trans?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God.
And no, it didn't. Like, did you play with girl toys or like what is it? Like what, just confusion, I think, with people not understanding what transgender is and like what makes someone transgender. I think for most people who are cis, you just don't think about it. You just are and you're comfortable with it. It's hard to understand, like, why would you want to go from man to woman or woman to man? Like, why would you do that? It's such a big jump.
Were you indoctrinated as a child with Barbie dolls?
I wish. I would have come out so much quicker.
But even if Tiffany had played with any girl toys growing up, that would not have made her transgender. And it is very developmentally appropriate for your children to play with dolls, regardless of gender.
Thank you.
And next question, do all trans people know they are transgender as a child?
No. I knew that I was different, especially when I went through puberty. Like, I definitely knew I was different, like growing facial hair and like friends being jealous of me, people I knew being jealous of me. And I'm like, I don't know, you're gonna hate it when you grow your like mustache, when you start growing facial hair. You're gonna hate it. I think that was mostly just me who hated growing facial hair and being like, you don't get it. When you have it, you're gonna hate it. And I remember vividly two of my good friends like talking about how like their beards aren't fully growing in, or one is mostly grown in, the other one is struggling to get like a beard. I don't get it. I don't know why you would want any of this. Less hair is better, isn't it? Not, isn't it? Don't we all think that? I had to stay in like, this is what boys do, and I have to do that.
But you also never thought, I'm a girl.
No, look at my body. How could I? How can I be a girl? Is what my thoughts were. Like, no, you're a boy. There's no question. I might have had feelings and I might have felt uncomfortableness when it came to, like, I had dysphoria, but it was never severe. Like, it was always more just uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable feeling masculine, doing masculine things that like men do, or being perceived as a man. I always felt uncomfortable, but it's like, well, what other choices do I have? It's not like I felt like I had a choice. Mm-hmm. Knowing that I did have like a feminine side and stuff, like that was also something where like I felt wrong for doing that. So I hardcore tried to avoid being feminine in any way, even though it's like clearly what my heart and my brain wanted.
Yeah, I think that's a common question. In me and Tiffany's relationship, it got to a certain point when I thought there was more going on with Tiffany's gender and maybe gender fluid or something like that. But I never really thought
you didn't know
that
for
she
sure.
would be transgender, because I thought that if you were transgender, you knew, like, and you knew since you were small. Because I think that's just the perception that I got from media. When I saw transgender people in media, that's what their story usually was that they always knew. So that's sort of what I thought. So when I spoke to Tiffany about it once and she said no, like definitely not, I just thought that was the case because I just thought she would know. I think it's sort of a common misconception. Does your beard stop growing on HRT?
I wish. Yeah, I freaking wish. No, it doesn't. That's why I do laser hair removal, and I've done 10 sessions now, but like you can still see some of the beard shadow and it's so frustrating. And you can't just do them 10 days in a row. Like you have to space them out like 4, 5, 6 weeks at a time, because that's just the pace that hair grows. You can't just keep doing it. It won't do anything. So the only way for it to be effective is to do it like 5, 6 weeks apart. So it's taken me a long time. I'll need more sessions. I've done 10. I know of girls who have done more than 20 sessions and there's still some hair left over. I don't know. I just really hope to have not the beard shadow because if I shave, you still see it. So that's annoying. But
so what does HRT do?
It does a lot of things. You can Google it. There's some like highlights. And there's another episode I wanted to do, like a little quick video of like the surprising effects of HRT that aren't like the main things you would think of. So you can Google it super quick. You can see all the different ways that like HRT will affect the body. But yeah, there's some surprising things that, aren't really like highlighted. So we'll talk about that another time.
Well, can you at least tell us if your breasts are real?
This is something I don't know. Maybe people get further into transition when their boobs are a little bit bigger, because mine are, they're there. They're just pretty small still. It's pretty interesting actually, just learning about all the different ways your body changes on HRT and like the way that the differences between like how your body changes on estrogen versus testosterone. I can't be topless anymore. Isn't that crazy?
Ma'am, answer the question. Are they real?
Yeah, they're real. Of course they are.
Okay.
They're teeny tiny. I may be getting surgery someday in the future, but that's at least a year away if they don't grow to where I'm satisfied enough. But they're getting there actually. So. Oh, I should probably also mention like, just as a little quick side note, like I'm comfortable answering pretty much any question when in regards to my really anything, not just my transition. So I want to be open. I want to talk about it. I think it's interesting. I think it's fun, and it's me. And I don't want to hold back because I've held back a lot of my life, and I just don't want to hold back anything anymore. So, but I don't think, a lot of transgender people aren't comfortable just talking about it. So if you meet people, or if you don't know people that well, you really shouldn't just talk about shouldn't ask about their transition. And even if you know them, it's probably best to ask if it's okay to ask some questions about, that person's transition. Don't just come out and just ask the questions straight away.
Especially the inappropriate ones.
Yes, don't. Well, yeah. Some days maybe that person just doesn't want to. Maybe that person never wants to. Maybe they're like, it's just not right now. I don't have the energy. I don't feel like talking about it right now. So, but for me, go ahead and ask any question. If you want to ask me about anything that we haven't talked about at all, like, feel free to message me. If you think you're transgender, if you want to be converted, come talk to me.
Okay, back to the questions. That was a joke for legal reasons.
No, it's not.
We're not converting anyone. This is not a cult.
This is conversion therapy.
Tiffany, do you like men now? And sort of, does your sexuality change with your gender? Are those things the same? Are they connected?
No, they're not. So with me personally, I do like men. Surprise.
And
you
women.
You knew this, yeah. I'm bi, actually.
We're not breaking up.
Heartbreakers. Your favorite show?
Yes. So we're both bisexual.
Mm-hmm. Woo. Bye, baby. But yeah, that was a question you got a lot, didn't you? Like, asking about me.
I did.
And men.
People asked me if I was afraid that Tiffany would leave me for a man now.
But weren't they also like thinking, well, maybe you would want a man?
Oh yeah, right.
Maybe you should leave Tiffany for a man.
Maybe people who didn't know that I was bisexual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people thinking like, oh, you married a man, so are you getting divorced now? Someone asked me if our relationship is platonic now.
Interesting.
But no.
Oh.
We're both bisexual and we both still like each other.
Uh-huh. For the most part. No, we very much love each other.
Yes. An understandable question to ask.
Mm-hmm.
If our relationship is changing. So, yeah.
No. We've practiced lesbian sex for more than a few years. But yeah, we can talk about maybe we'll have another. I think we should have a sex episode. So if anyone isn't comfortable and anyone doesn't want to, don't watch that episode. But I do want to have a sex episode talk. I think it'd be fun.
I can't wait for our moms to watch that.
They won't watch it if they don't want to.
Are you sure you're not just a gay man? And people saying it's okay to be gay. Why not just be a feminine man? Or you can still be a man and be feminine. So
this is a question because I got some of these questions from my online transgender women's group that I'm a part of, and they were like, we are asking like, what are some questions that you might have gotten, and that was a very common one.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very common one, and so I think it just stems from a place of not understanding, like if it wasn't, it's not. I'm not comfortable with being a man. The reason I'm comfortable with femininity is because I feel like a woman. That's why I feel comfortable moving through the world as a woman, being perceived as a woman. That's why I want to display femininity. It's not because I'm a man who wants to display femininity. If that's what I was, that's what I would be, If that's what I was, that's what I would be. But that's not what I am. That's not how I feel. I want to be perceived as a woman. I don't want to be perceived as a man. That's not how I feel. Saying sir to me, I don't want that. Like, it feels so nice to hear, hi ma'am, or Tiffany, or it just feels comfortable. And there's so many different ways that just like being perceived as a woman, my brain is just like, yes, that's it. It sends me positive signals. the place where I want to get to in my transition, is to where it doesn't matter what I put on, I'm still perceived as a woman. I want to be able to put on a suit and tie. I never want to put on a suit and tie ever again. But if I did, I want to be still perceived as a woman. No makeup, no matter how I dress, I want people to perceive me as a woman, no matter what, all the time, always and forever. Because that's how I feel. That's how I feel here. That's how I feel here.
Okay, and the last one is, are you happier?
Now, that's not a question that I've seen as a common question being asked. And that was not asked of me. And I think it should be. And that's why I put that down. I put that down specifically because I think that's the most important question. And it doesn't get asked. It doesn't seem like ever. Am I happier? Yes. Like a million times. Coming out as trans was like the most freeing experience ever. And it does fill me with regret that I didn't do it sooner. And I think that's also a very common trans experience, is regret to not have coming out sooner. I think it's very common, especially if someone comes out as an adult. It's like, oh, I look back at my childhood. I'm like, oh, all those, like, it's not like I didn't love my childhood. I loved, the friends I hung out with, it was great and stuff. But, like, I just missed out on all those, like, I don't know, sweet, cute, high school days and stuff, and middle school days, and just being a little girl. Like, I would have loved that. I missed out on a lot of experiences that I can never have. And sometimes it makes me really sad when I think about it. When I see, like, I don't know, people's friends' stories or videos from their kids and their daughters. And sometimes you just see them, things on YouTube or in movies and stuff. And I'm just like, it does make me sad that I'll never have that childhood.
So are you happier or are you sad?
I'm a lot happier.
Okay.
But it does, all the time that I missed out on being me and being as happy as I am now, like, I missed out on that. But I'm here now. Yay.
Okay.
Okay.
Kind of
We'll
a
edit that
depressing
one.
note to end on.
Stop it. No, it's not depressing. I get to be me now. I get to be happy now. So it's a happy end to the story.
Okay.
Is that all the questions? Really?
Yep.
Let me look real quick. So that's some of the basic questions. They were asked of me
ones.
or just in general, yeah, maybe of other people. So
Some questions that people may have had.
So
yeah.
And like I said, if anyone has questions for me, you can always just message me directly, privately, publicly, I don't care. That's pretty much it. And maybe we'll do another episode with questions, because there are more, but some of them are just, they're not real questions. So that's, and it made me sad when I saw some of the questions that some of the other girls would get. It's like, you're being mean. So.
Well, I don't think we would answer those.
No, you shouldn't.
Anyway.
Okay, maybe I'll edit that.
Right. That's the end of the video.
Okay, love y'all.
Bye.